What I want to do today is connect our Google Forms and Notion apps so that whenever a new survey form is filled out on our Google Forms, a database item will automatically be created in our selected Notion app. Zapier is a no-code tool that makes it easier for anyone to automate workflows across 5,000 plus apps. If you don't have an account, there's a link in the description for a free 2-week trial, so you can try it risk-free. Let's dive in. In order to get started with this workflow, I need to create a Zap by clicking the button on the left-hand side of the screen. Because I want Google Forms to trigger the creation of a new database item in my Notion app, I'll need to use Google Forms as my trigger. I can find the app by typing it into the search bar and clicking below. Setting this as the trigger means that anytime Google sees a new survey item is created, it's going to run this workflow. The trigger screen will then pop up. I should click New Form Response as my event and click Continue. The first time we set up Google Forms, we'll need to authenticate it with Zapier. A link will pop up for you to log into your Google account. Don't worry, it's totally safe because Zapier uses industry standards for encryption when connecting with each of your apps. I'll put a link to Zapier's security and trust page in the description as well. Once we log in, we'll need to fill out our Trigger Apps data. To do this, click the form you want to use for your Zap under the Form dropdown. Then click Continue. In order to finish setting up the trigger, we'll need to pull in some example data. To do that, click Test Trigger. You're all set with the first step. Click Continue and we can start creating our first action. I want to set up my Notion page so that it shows the date of each completed form. However, I don't want the time to be shown, so I'll need to format my submitted dates. To do that, I'll click the Format tool on the built-in Tools section. For my event, I'll click Date/Time and click Continue. Next, under Transform, I'll click Format. Once I do that, under the Input screen, I should click Last Submitted Time. Under To Format, I'll click the format I want to use for the date only and change the time zone to Eastern Standard. Then I'll click Continue. Click Test Action and we can move on to the next step. Click the plus button to add a second action step. Once you're on the action screen, type in Notion into the search bar and select it on the drop-down menu. Next, click Create Database Item and click Continue. From there, I can select our account and authenticate Notion with Zapier, just like I did with my Google account. By the way, if at any point you get stuck, Zapier's got an amazing support team that can help you out. There's a link in the description to their forum post for this specific workflow. Click Continue and it's time to assign our Trigger Apps data into the Action Apps field. First, click the database you want your Google Forms data to appear on. I'm going to click Zapier Survey Results. After I select my database, the properties from my selected Google form will appear below. Mine are listed as email of sender, total number of questions, questions answered, and date submitted. I'll want to fill these out. Under Email of Sender, I'll click Respondent Email. Under Total Number of Questions, I'll click Max Possible Score. Under Questions Answered, I'll click Total Score, and for Date Submitted, I'll click the output listed under my Date Time Formatter tool in the dropdown and click Continue. Click Test Action, and I should be all set. Yep, there it is. This is ready to turn on. Now, anytime a new survey is completed in my selected Google form, a new database item will automatically be created in Notion. I hope this was a helpful demo. Zapier can do so much more with these two apps and thousands of others. Check Zapier out. There's a free trial. Click the link in the description.